I know the best way that you can do it might be entrepreneurship. But that doesn't mean that everybody's cut out for it. And like to your point, that doesn't mean that you have to do the whole like start from the bottom. Like you can make money and become an investor and you be the next Warren Buffett.
Absolutely.
Right? Because Warren Buffett sits pretty chill. He made his company. Thank you for tuning in to Mind Your Business. Mind Your Business is an educational network. We are not your fiduciary. Seek your financial or tax or legal professional for any information you get in here before you apply it to your business. Peace. I got you. They say the median salary is $89,000 per year, but this means that 50% of the U.S. of the population is earning less than $89,000. That's a lot of people.
No, majority of people, the average salary is like $40,000.
That's crazy.
Most people are like one paycheck away from being like done. I gotta catch myself.
Figure it out.
Hi, it's Farrah B. Collins. Like no.
You definitely don't want to do that. So we probably just want to look. What's going on, y'all?
Yeah.
It's another episode of Minding Your Biz, where we talk about all things business, relationships, personal, business, and business and finance. So,
right.
You know, it's
your whole financial house, right?
Yeah.
Because your finances affect every part of your life, right? So we know that for me, growing up, if you're like, even now, if my finances are not right, I don't want to talk, I don't want to go out, I'm grinding. Leave me alone. So that affects every aspect of my life.
That's crazy because think about it. That's I feel like that's where I'm at right now. That's that mindset. But we gonna talk about it. So I'm Dr. Blackwell.
I'm Mrs. Fab Financial.
So like I said, we in here for another episode. So today we're gonna teach you how to We're going to teach you how to start with the end in mind, take a business from the beginning of the idea, from the side hustle, all the way up to going public, right?
And deep diving into those different legalities, right? So last week we talked about, starting a sole proprietor, starting your business, if you're going to be an LLC, a S Corp, all the way up to C Corp. And then we're going to even bring in a nonprofit component because we didn't really talk about that. But businesses grow and they have so many different arms and legs, and so sometimes it gets really convoluted, right? So there's a lot of moving parts. So we're just going to give you a case study, a deep dive of what that looks like from beginning to end.
Yeah.
But first, we always want to. This is the part of the show where we talk about mindset, the things that you need to shift and change, and attitudes that need to be adjusted for you to even thrive in your business, no matter what phase you are in your business. So me and Tariq always have like a round table. We're always like first thing in the morning checking in like, hey, what's going on? Yeah. What's this? What's that? And so some of it, like just this morning, we're talking about kind of that soft parenting, the lack of discipline in sports, like everybody gets a trophy to win. So what do you guys think? I
ain't one of the people. Ain't no in between. We ain't riding out trophies.
So this is a
appreciation,
a program, a coach, right? Ultimately, a business. Because I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
If you are getting people to sign up and pay you for something, that's a type of a business.
Yeah.
So if you're going into coaching, even in the nonprofit, you have to win.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody really. There are people that say we root for the underdog.
Yeah.
But you really want the winner. You want the winning formula. So we were just talking about soft parents.
But that underdog has that story.
No, for sure.
Because the underdog they became winners, right? Like it's hard to really describe it. I remember I've been on ET for a long time. And I remember when he said, it still resonates with me today. He was like, I don't know how to explain it, but you just better feel me. And winners win. Like that, I was just like, that's what it is. Like, that's just really what it is. Like, if you're going to be a winner, you're going to be a winner. And oftentimes, winning people come from dark places, though.
No, for sure.
And I think, in that whole mindset piece, when you go into, first of all, my philosophy is for anybody that's trying to attain financial freedom, right? Because I think it's a difference between freedom and security. For me, I feel like the best solution for you to do is for you to have a business, whether you nurture it as a side business or you really try to go into it full time. But unless you're going after a specific skilled profession, like a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, right? Like you're going to have to make some money, right? So we was...
So we agree to disagree, because I don't think everybody needs to have a business.
That might be true.
I think some of it is that's kind of the feeling and the energy that's happening right now. Like I feel like everyone's getting this FOMO, right? It's like, oh, I need a business, because everyone's like, you need to be a boss, you need to have a business, you need to have a business.
I agree with that.
However, you to have a business, entrepreneurship is hard, it's lonely, it's tough. And you have to have a lot of self-discipline and a grind and a fortitude that keeps you going.
For sure.
No matter if you get paid or not. And I think people really misunderstand what having a business is. And they're like, oh, they're doing this on Instagram. They're doing that on Instagram. Yeah, but they're not showing on Instagram when you don't get not one sale. What does that look like? When nobody bought from you today, nobody's saying that. How do you as a business owner keep going? And people think, oh, I'm gonna get a sale every day just because I started a business.
Yeah.
Right. And what that looks like and getting out into the market, right? And how people do that who don't necessarily have the personality for free marketing, which is Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to figure out who you are, and you can invest. You can have a certain amount of financial freedom without being a business owner, right?
Sure.
And that is really kind of getting your chops in investing, whether that's real estate, that's investing in another business, that's maybe into insurances. There's other things that you can do, but I do think that you cannot rely on your W-2 job, right?
Right.
I think they're to me, real estate is probably one of the better options, even if it is easier, right? Because land in most cases and real estate always grows and appreciates, right? You could almost never lose with land. They're not building any more of that, right? And most houses and stuff, you know what I mean? Even if you go to like a poor, rural, nothing of a town, eventually
something's gonna be there.
It's gonna be growth there because you got to also think about towns are expanding and growing. I just look at here in Metro Atlanta. 10 years ago when I moved here, there were parts of Atlanta that you wouldn't even drive. You would be like, I'm going as far as Douglasville or Hiram, Georgia. Okay, my mom moved out there. Now
that's where people go.
That's where people are like, oh, I'm moving out there all the way up. I mean, past
McDonough. though.
It's a little bit of that too, but the city is growing. So I say, figure out who you are and what you want. Yeah. Don't get caught up in the hype, because entrepreneurship is not for the faint. You got to have that dog. You got to get up and want to grind and do it by any means necessary. If nobody's cheering you, if nobody's patting on your back, if nobody's buying your product today, if nobody's on your live, you got to be in it for the long haul. You got to have an immense amount of self-discipline. That to me goes back to that coaching and that soft coach who wanted everybody to win, and not, to me, instilling discipline, routine, and structure in some of those like pee-wee sports that the kids be like, let's just run across the field and now everybody can get a trophy. No, everybody don't. Like I tell my daughter, no, that was whack, girl. You didn't do your jump. You didn't do your walkover. And she be like, no, practice makes perfect. You got to keep doing it. Yeah. And so now her back walkover, she a G now. I'm like, see?
Yeah. I don't misunderstand me. Like, I don't think that everybody should go into entrepreneurship, but I'm real practical. So if you looking for a desired result, I know the best way that you can do it might be entrepreneurship. But that doesn't mean that everybody's cut out for it. And like, to your point, that doesn't mean that you have to do the whole start from the bottom. Like, you can make money and become an investor, and you be the next Warren Buffett.
Absolutely.
Right? Because Warren Buffett sit pretty chill. His company makes billions, and all he does is bet on other people's company, see the potential, the value in it, and give money to it. and he gets to reap all the benefits without having no work into it from that perspective, right?
For sure.
So, but I'm heavy on, and I used to think it was a black thing. Like how, because black people we're always like triple qualified no matter where we go, right? And then in some aspects, we might be overlooked. So, but when you start getting in certain rooms and arenas, you just realize like if you're just a winner, like people just have a different type of mindset, period. It don't matter what, who you are, what shape, form, fashion, or color, right? So that mindset is really tough. I remember when I started at Northwestern Mutual, I was coming from the government, right? So I had a 9-to-5, I had all the stuff, the benefits, the medical.
That was hard. You was like,
all that. And that was my first experience going into like a fully commissioned, self-employment, entrepreneurial type of spirit. And we went all in. I cashed in my TSP. I think I had like 10 grand. I went over to Men's Warehouse. I bought like 3 suits. I'm gonna leave my opinion about that alone. I had like 3 suits or whatever, right? We went into it, and it took a while before I started to get some sales. I mean, I'm talking a while. It was like months, right? And at the time, like, it was the only income we was right, because my wife didn't work, and she believed in that. And so a lot of that mindset I like about it is the accountability. And I think how I got there was probably through marriage. I got married young. And I remember when our marriage like shifted was when I started looking at stuff different.
For sure.
Because I would come in, and I don't know if it's like a man thing or whatever, but I know I was like,
I mean, you are a man, so
I know, but I'm like, it'd be certain stuff. I just be like, no, that's you. Like this is you. Like, this not me. Something wrong with you. But when I started to like, just to take, all right, like, look, Tariq, you might be tripping. Like, let's look at it, and then let's see that side of it. And I think it changed our whole dynamic, and it started to change me. So when I was working with Northwestern, I was one of 2 black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that they talk, we talking about selling insurance, you selling. So they say, hey, you got to build relationships. And then these people are good salespeople, so they build relationships quick. So for me, like, I realized, like, I never really built a relationship fast with nobody.
Yeah, they don't have time to wait.
You know what I'm saying? But I looked at it like, you know what I'm saying? Like, from all my experiences, like, I never really built a relationship. I never had a relationship that I built quick, or it was just, I just didn't know nothing about relationships. And the first thing that made me feel like I had the fix to alter how I view relationships was my relationship with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So I would call him and talk to him like almost every day. And just hearing my different experiences and things that was hard for me. So that whole accountability, like, if you can't take accountability, because entrepreneurship is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. You're going to go through stuff it's just like marriage. You're going to go through something that's going to make you look at yourself, and you have to explore where these things come from. Where a lot of us is coming from poor environment.
And I think people want it just so fast, and social media gives such a false narrative of what success looks like and the time frame of it, right? So a lot of times, by the time the masses or a large amount of people find you on social media or become a part of your journey, you're usually at your peak and are rising to the top, right? Yeah. Because that's when they're getting you. You might get
and you ain't even made it to your top.
Right. You're on your way up. But the few people that really started with you from the beginning are there rocking with you, but other people think like, oh, they just hit it. They just this, that, and the third. No, it's like, no, I've been doing this for 10 years. You just got hold of me. You're just now figuring this out.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people just lack the mindset to understand that going in it is it's not short.
Yeah.
You are a marathon runner. It's not a sprint. It's not the 50-yard dash. It is a marathon. And, and if you don't have the mindset, to me, and the fortitude for tough times, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. In any type of environment, right? In highs and good times when the money and the economy is flowing, and then times when it's not. Because it's cyclical. It's things that happen through time. And you have to be ready for all of that. And most times, especially small business owners, just aren't ready for any type of friction or pushback because they don't have a budget in place. They don't have contingencies. They don't have a savings. And all the money that comes in, they're spending it as soon as it goes out. They don't really understand, like, I need to put money away. And so I think that's the great thing about having this conversation about minding your biz as we go into the next phase, is really helping entrepreneurs that first you got to get your mind together. You got to know that, hey, it's a dog fight. Like, I'm in round one, that I'm in round 1 or 2 of this thing, but it's like 80 rounds. Like in entrepreneurship, it's not just 12 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Or unless you want to go around as a year, like, hey, it's people like, oh, I've been doing this for 3 years. 3 years ain't nothing. Like, what you talking about?
That's why I'm huge on, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I love sports. Like, we recently watched the movie on Frazier, right? Yeah, Joe from Houston. Now, what's crazy was I already seen the movie on Ali.
Yeah.
But on Frazier, first of all, I'm like,
I want to see that too.
I seen Frazier, we seen Tyson, and I seen Ali. When I compare the three, Tyson and Mike Tyson and Frazier, I feel like approach boxing from they was angry. Yeah. They was like mad at the world. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When Ali came in, if that's how he jumped in there, you really couldn't tell. He was in it for the sport. How I seen that was when we was watching Joe and he fought Ali. Obviously that was in there because that was when he came down. Now, when you watch that fight, Frazier's coming in it from the mindset of, I gotta hit this dude heavy, hard to knock him out. Ali coming at it from the mindset of, Frazier's gonna come at me, trying to hit me out, but he can't outlast me. Yeah. Ali was on them ropes, and he just took every pound. Yeah. Boom.
Like, he's gonna tire out. He's gonna get tired.
Eventually, and it was round after round. He said eventually he gonna get tired. And Ali held in there so long, he said, ooh, I see it. Boom, and boom. So entrepreneurship, it really, because that's what it is. First of all, there's no excuses. Nobody's coming to save you. This ain't even a black or white thing. This is just a richer or poorer situation. If you're poor, you feeling poor, you in the slums, you whatever that looks like, if you're trying to get to the other side, you're going to have to make that decision to get there and know that nobody's coming to save you.
And you also,
I'm like, I'm
like, real talk. And you also, like, the funny part is not funny, but I really think you have to understand the position in which you are in the global economy, world of things, right? That is bigger than what you see. So, a lot of times people are like, oh, you want to make $1 million in a day. You want to make 7 figures in 7 months and that type of thing. And then people go, I didn't make $1 million and I didn't do this or do that. And I'm like, listen, start small. Like, if you make, especially in the tax industry, it's 4 months. If you have a W-2 job and you make an extra 20, 30 grand, that's helping you. That's life changing to some people.
We just did the stats of the average. The median income is $89,000.
I didn't make the 6 figures. I didn't make but you made $20,000.
You gotta celebrate them small.
You have to celebrate where you are and build on top of that. And I think people are just they just don't have the fortitude, the longevity to take it and go, this is a win. I made it. I did this thing. Let me take this 20 grand though and be wise with my funds and figure out how I can make this 20 grand, 40 grand next year.
But I think that's how you discern a believer from somebody that's talking. Like, if you're really about this life, what you willing to sacrifice to get there? Like, what are you willing to
give up to go up? That's what they say.
That's like real. Like, I think about our journey. I'm not saying that we're rich by no means, but I know what it took me to get here. Family, wife, children, like the arguments, that's within my own household. That's not even to mention what happens on the outside. So what are you willing to go through to keep going after what you want? No. And a lot of us is coming from, this is you either got it or you don't. A lot of us is coming from the environments where we don't see success. We don't see entrepreneurship. We don't see people with money. We see poor.
And now I feel like it's changing, because I do, like, being in the tech industry for long as I have in the financial space, there is like a new resurgence and appetite for financial literacy. And you can see it all around, all around you, right? And what's happening there. However, what now you want to look at is longevity. So you can figure out how you sustain, right? Because it's different when you're like, oh, yep, I started my business out of COVID. There was so much money in the market that and people were home, they're on social media, they're scrolling, they're buying all the courses, all the products.
People who just course creators.
They're buying all the stuff. So it really looked like, oh, my business is great, right? And then, now let's see what it looks like for the next 5 or 10 years, right? As you build and grow, when there's not as much money in the economy, and how you adjust.
And we at that 4.5, that 3.5 year.
That, what that looks like. Because when there's less money in the market, you still have to sell. Yeah. Right. And then that's when you have to start really understanding your numbers and understanding your profit margin.
For sure.
What does that look like?
Because we don't ever start with the end in mind.
Correct. And we think that it's always going to be up. We think we're always going to be on that peak and that there's never going to be a valley, right?
Cycles to business.
And then that's why there's so many people who, successful entrepreneurs, successful athletes, people who win the lottery usually die broke, right? Because they don't have contingencies, they don't have budgets, they don't have disciplines in place. So we said all that to say, in that first tirade of mindset, talking, giving you guys different aspects, is that you have to be ready for this journey and be really involved in your financial house, guys. And your financial house includes knowing your numbers, your profit margins, knowing your sales, knowing your tax implications, right? The whole gamut.
It's being intentional. You got to think through certain.
And you have to be present. You got to show up.
We're real intentional about the things we do. Like, I don't even like, entrepreneurs when people playing, like, what's the playbook or run the play. Like, I don't even like that language, right? Because why we playing with business?
But I get it though, because a part of it is marketing though. And that's just sometimes your personality. Like, I think about the behavior styles. Their attack is their behavior style, because you do have to run it, because it takes a certain person that
it's like sports.
Right, it's like sports, but it's also connecting people that you have to run the play. Right. No, you really do, right? Because sometimes people get really set up into the playbook and all the analysis. They looking at all the plays.
But you gotta actually
do it.
At some point, you gotta get off the bench.
You gotta get off the bench, get in the game, and get hit.
For sure. I'm definitely on that. You gotta be in the game.
You gotta get to the end. Are you going to try to get to the end zone or not?
Right.
Or you want to
don't play. Right. Don't play with it. You either gonna get in there or you ain't.
You gotta try to get the ball and get to the end zone.
Yeah.
Not like defense. I'm just gonna watch.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna just come in and kick at the last minute.
Yeah.
No. You got to be in the game of life, the game of your business, whatever analogy you need. I think sports is a great analogy about it, because a lot of people are sitting on the sidelines watching other people play, other people live, and wonder why they're not scoring, why it's not happening for them, because you being a fan on the sideline.
Yeah,
or you're trying to coach.
Or you're being too analytical.
And too cautious.
And I play with my mind with that, because I'm very much so like, this got to be, but then I also know, like, you still got to be in the game. Like, that's how you're going to be able to watch game film, to change it up, right? Like, And a lot of people, you know, so I think
So you gotta have those people that's gonna run it.
Right.
And I think
this players.
those are the people that don't need a playbook a little bit. They need a little bit of guidance, but they have a natural tenacity
To get it.
to win and get it, right? Then there's other people that need a little more nurturing.
Yeah.
But they could do it. Their brain goes, I need to know how to do it. Some people are like, I don't need to know how. That's the end zone. I'm going to figure it out as I'm running.
Right. They're going to get the penalties and then figure like, I can't do that. All right, let me redo it.
There's people who naturally could do that. There are people that's like, they can't figure it out what happened. That you can't really bottle up and sell.
Yeah.
Right? You got to figure out who you are. And a lot of times people don't know who they are. Once you figure that out, then you can figure out the strategy you need to score. Right? To figure out, am I alignment?
That's personal development.
That's personal development. Because if you are in if you got a quarterback coach, but you're not a quarterback, you need alignment. I don't know all the positions in football, but I know that all of them got a different coach, right? You got... And you with the coach who you need, right?
For sure.
But sometimes people think, no, I'm the quarterback. Then they think, no, you're not the quarterback. You're a lineman or you a running back, right? Yeah. That's the coach you need to get you there.
For sure.
So sometimes the personal development and assessing who you are really can help you figure out how you're going to score points and even get to the end zone.
I think people really miss it because that's really the game. Like I can't even... tell you how much I've just been, and this might sound weird, but just obsessed with myself to study because that's the best way I know how to get better. Like, this made me I'm feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I got anxiety. Well, where's that coming from? Well, this seems safe. I'm 1 to 2 clients away. Now I'm assessing how I'm feeling, right? And it's just like you said, I'm one of them people, though, that if we're going to I want to know all the rules to the game, and I want to know all the positions and what they do. Then I get to choose what position I'm going to play, but I still know what this wide receiver is supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that's how I approach business, right? And most of us, that's what I was about to get into. Most of us, I feel like we accidentally scale our business and we grow along the way, and I like that because I think it's natural because you want to get in the game.
Yeah,
you talking about somebody who start doing hair, or locks or something right in their basement. It's the mindset of I make $30,000-$40,000, a year. I got kids, I got this. If I cut a little hair, if I do this, I can make an extra boom.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a full-time job.
No, for sure. So that's going into our topic for the day. Just to kind of wrap up that whole mindset thing and to move on. The thing that you got to get and really understand as you go through the different phases of entrepreneurship, just like the football game, is the difference is that as you are running towards the end zone with the ball, you are going to get hit.
Yeah.
And the people that can score are the people who can get up from the hit, adjust, and keep going towards the end zone, right? And not letting each hit weigh you down and make you slower to get up to the point that you don't ever get up. You have to keep getting up. That is the difference maker between the people who make it to the end zone and score and live the life that they want and the people who don't. Because life happens to all of us.
Every day.
People die, people get sick, people get laid off, all the things happen to all of us.
Not to mention, you probably the one who decided to take on this journey to make it. So you got all the people who not, and they coming to you, they reaching out, you the savior, you the first minute. But it's
in all aspects.
Yeah.
In all aspects, life is happening to all of us.
Sorry.
But the difference maker between the people who score and can make it to the end zone is when life is happening, it does not stop them. They don't stop and look at the hit and be like, oh, my arm is so hurt and I need to go. They go, I got to keep going. Yup, it hit me. I got to keep going. I got to keep pressing forward. Because if you look and assess every time you hit and stop and fix it and go to the hospital and spend 4 days crying over the hit and what happened, you miss time.
And that's how you can tell the type of person.
And then you're taking your time and attention off what? The goal in the end zone.
Yeah.
You got so distracted by what hit you that you forget what you even supposed to be doing, which is run into the end zone with the ball.
Yeah.
And you never even pick. You got to keep going. So that is my listen. That's it. Keep going. You get hit. Make it to the end zone. Run the play. Get in the game and do it.
That's fortitude. That's fortitude, that's focus, and that's stamina.
Yeah.
And them the same 3 legs you're gonna be able to stand on in business, period, right? And that mindset person, it's a you can always tell the person's mindset based off the questions that they ask. Because if I get hit, get hurt, it's either gonna be a person like that who's determined. Their question is, Doc, how long am I down? And the follow-up question is how fast can we get better?
That's right. What's
right? Like them the only 2 questions we want to know.
We move.
Like, and the doctor probably coming at you like, look, you tore your whole, I don't even know, meniscus, bop. It's gonna be through. They like, look, I need to shorten this recovery window. What can I do to do that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what life is, right? I need to, when you start to realize you put life into perspective, it really changes you. There was a time where we played around. I'm like, it's whatever. We make money. We out here doing whatever. But then when certain things come up, and I don't know what that is. For you, it could be marriage. For you, it could be kids. For you, it could be your mom. So it could be whatever. But something's going to happen, and that's the only way that's going to make you change your mind. You got I got to do something different. There's certain stuff I used to do I don't even think about doing because I'm so obsessed with getting better. Why? Because you start realizing wealth is connected to time. And I'm trying to figure out, because you could make $40,000 a year and over 30, 40 years, you could have $1 million. Right? Sure. And you could be a millionaire in that aspect.
But I also, for me too, because not to belabor the point a little bit but because I'm heavy into budgeting, you really have to prioritize what you're doing with your money.
For sure. Because
$40,000 to one could look like chump change. $40,000 to someone else,
there's a lot of money,
can make it happen.
For
like,
sure.
Oh, you know what? Listen, I can make this $40,000 do what it do. But I think because we are in such a consumeristic society and we always want more and more, we're never satisfied with certain things, which is why a lot of people just kind of burn out as well. You really have to put your happiness in perspective, right? And so, do I need to have the foreign car? Do I need to have the giant house? Do I need to have all these designer clothes? What is the fundamental thing that I really want? And it's usually time, freedom, and management to spend with your family.
Yeah.
And
that's what you're really chasing.
For sure. And if you're not, that's okay too. Sometimes you just got to go, well, know what? I really want to be a millionaire. I really want to be rich. I want to buy all the things that I see on television because I grew up super poor and I always wanted it. And then when you go down that journey and you acquire, you kind of realize, maybe I don't. Because after you buy all that shit, what's next?
Right.
Right. It comes to a point, then what is next? But
that comes to like I meet a lot of entrepreneurs in that transition phase, and I love it because I'm never judgmental about it because I know our stories from poor to rich. Like I know the whole gamut. But you get those people who are like, oh, well, this is working.
Yeah.
And I made some money.
Yeah.
And then what stops them, where they get tackled at, is taxes, because now it's like, oh, well, I owe this much. Well, I didn't but you done upgraded your lifestyle based off the things that you didn't have or wanted, which I understand it. Now it's just, now you realize this, we got to tighten this up. That's normally when I feel like, that whole budget conversation really resonates. Because you ain't trying to hear it in the beginning. In the beginning, you're just trying to get to what money looks like.
I think,
but if you don't address them habits, it's gonna show itself when
that's emotional because they're
not logic.
It's not logical.
For sure.
Because at the end of the day, in 2023, you could Google anything. So many stories of professional athletes who are now
entrepreneurs, people
in real estate. They almost broke. They on whatever. Every retired professional person does not turn into Magic Johnson.
For sure.
Right? He is an outlier. Him, Shaquille O'Neal, there are a handful of professional athletes who were able to transition. LeBron James.
It's a new standard because LeBron doing it and he's still playing.
However, there are outliers. That is not the majority across professional sports, right? You're talking about basketball, football, baseball, even hockey. How far we want to go? Soccer. The majority of them do not transition out of professional sports, either maintaining or growing their net worth. It usually is on a fast decline, and then they try to plug it, and then they're kind of stretching it out because there's no money talk and management talk while they're in the thing, or even before. All you knew is you want to get out the hood and change your lifestyle and change and da-da-da-da-da. No,
but once you do that,
yeah,
you get married to just like talking about Magic Johnson. When we watch his story, it's a certain type of person.
But it was also his environment,
that's
too, right? And so you wanted a certain thing because something happened while he was playing that was like, I'm not going to be able to do this forever. You know, he also had his medical scare with HIV and AIDS that probably definitely changed his mindset. Like, oh, I can't play.
But
how can I do that?
Excuse mindset. He said he might have shed a tear a day, and he called up. Was the owner of the team? What's his name?
The Lakers.
Jerry. I think his name Jerry or something like that.
That might be the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know.
Called him up, and you know what I'm saying. He just had a mindset of like a winner's mindset. So he just took it from the court and started winning in entrepreneurship, but it was groomed up. Yeah. Right. So we got you. So we know where you at. We taking you somebody in their basement right now. Yeah. Somebody cutting hair out their garage. Yeah. Somebody in a downstairs, whatever, doing hair. Yeah. You doing your thing, right? And so we're gonna take you from there all the way to the end, so you can see where you're going. Because that's what I think. I always like to start with the end in mind, and that's what makes me stay in this game long. Because I know where I'm going.
Vision, and it's
so clear.
Yeah. Once you start in business, you want to start dreaming. What's the vision and the mission for your business?
For sure.
You know, once you pick up whatever you want to do, you know, like we're going to start with the beauty professional, right? Hair and beauty professional. That is near and dear to my heart. Most of my close friends, it's not really people that I, love and adore, started in the hair profession. Plus, I was in the performing arts, so I always was close to beauty and fashion. So I'm always at a hair salon, as being a Black woman, period. We always got to get it groomed, cut, styled, braided, sewed, dyed, and fried, made to the side.
Okay, how much money you making? We gonna look
that
good.
Is a part of the maintenance. You gotta work it out. Or you're in a hair store, you're doing something, because the way we look, I'm with Dion. You look good, you feel good, you're gonna do good, you're gonna play good, you're gonna make the money, all the good.
All the stuff.
God gonna say, and it was good. Yeah. It's like, no, it was all
that's
good.
What they say. Everything good. And that's where that comes from. He said the light, and it was good.
It was good.
He said it, and then he said it was good.
If I don't look good, that means I ain't feeling good. I'm not feeling good, and no, God is not gonna say it's good, right? So anyway.
and I think the beauty of this is, like, not only are we're coming at this from a real place, because we study businesses, and we've been in businesses long enough to know what real businesses do to grow their business. And we're taking that, and we also know where you're coming from just starting and having to figure it out. Yeah. So we don't want to come at you or talk at you like, well, you should have a da-da-da-da-da-da.
Absolutely not.
We know where you at.
Not gonna do that.
Yeah, we know where you at, and we want to cordially take you to the place where you should be, so you can tighten it up.
I just feel like when you know better, you do better.
For sure.
So when you first start out, you going to the board, and you want me to go? Maybe I'll go to the board.
I'm not in there.
So we starting as a sole prop. That's just you, right? You in your basement. Maybe you're at a salon suite. You're in your house, right? Maybe not even in the salon suite yet, because that's investments and that's money going out. So you're a sole proprietor. You are doing hair, right? You figure out you got a skill set that other people will pay you for. That's typically how it starts. I got a natural affinity to do hair. Something happened. You like, oh, I can braid. Or,
On the side.
on the side. Whatever it is, you started doing a service that equals money, that somebody's paying you for.
Right.
And so this starts to grow. You start to like, oh, wait a minute, this is working here. I can take care of myself. I'll make a little extra money on the side. Then the next logical step is then to go get yourself legally set up, right? As a sole proprietor, you start doing hair in the basement. People are what? Cash apping you, are giving you cash. You don't have like a formal setup, which is fine. Because the first thing you need to always be able to do as a business owner is get sales, is get this.
The money.
Is get the money. Some people worry about all this and they still can't get this part. So at least you got this part. No, real talk. People
that's why they might be ready to quit their job.
People done got the LLC. They done got the business bank account.
They might got credit cards.
They got the credit cards. The loans.
They got the PPP.
They done got the e-commerce site. They went to Shopify.
They set it all up.
Nothing.
No sale.
Nothing.
No, you got all the.
They ain't getting nothing.
Let me just buy the framework from you.
Let me just buy your cassette. So you got the thing, which is easy, right? It's not easy, but that's the hardest part sometimes. Is put yourself out there and get people to believe, to pay you for a service.
Because that's what's happening. Yeah.
That's the trust factor. Yeah. After that, then you want to go, okay, now let me set this thing up, right? Let me now get an LLC. We talked about that last week, what that is. You went to your Secretary of State, right? And then you also get your EIN number from the IRS. And then you get a bank account, right? And then the next transition is you may now then go to a salon suite. But just because you have this, right, what happens here is profit. How much profit am I bringing in before I start to transition to some things that people automatically start to do? Or I'm going to go get me a salon suite and immediately have a liability. Immediately have rent. Maybe you're not ready yet. Maybe you should stay in the basement until you have enough profit. And
take the home office deductions.
Take the home office deduction before you start now getting liabilities, right? Rent, right? With rent is utilities.
Equipment.
Equipment. Right? If you selling hair, right? That's stock or inventory. If you're a person that's selling hair, right? And so the thing that I think we don't talk about is the transition. How much profit should I have before I start to upgrade, right? That's kind of, I feel like, the disconnect, because people see money coming in, but they're like, well, how do I know when I'm ready for this transition? So then you got to look at your cost factor, right? Almost like your operating costs. So when you're in your home, to me, it's anything, you're looking at 30% profit to me. Anything 30% and more, you're in good shape to start transitioning and upgrading yourself, to me.
Consistent profit
over, to me, more than 3/4, right? And to me, you might want to stick there for a year so you can really figure out your cash flow, right? So you go, I'm in the basement. Now, are you giving mom or someone you live with money? Because that's your operating cost. So is that home rent? What does that look like, right? That's the same things here. If you're doing hair or stock, right? Are you buying hair? What are those operating costs? Do you have a schedulosity or whatever that is for people to book with you? You can start formulating your professional business while you still home. There's people who still go to people's houses. So I don't want people to think like, oh, I got to have a this or a that. Now, as you start to grow, you could maybe do a salon suite that's all inclusive, right? But the profit will determine it, okay? So let's say you charge how much? Let's do a real example here so people can understand math, because sometimes people get really intimidated by math. And they be like, what? they doing math. That's right. You gotta do a little math in your business.
I love it. Numbers don't lie.
And I'm not great in math, but I can do basic math.
Calculator.
Subtract.
And that's all you need in business. That's all you need in
I don't need a linear equation.
That's how you scale a business. That's all you need. So
I can add, subtract. That's all you need. You need
what's the average hairstyle today?
multiply and divide.
Right.
That's it. Right?
Right.
So let's say your service, we're going to pick a basic service. Let's say a sew-in.
Cool.
That's still a thing.
Yeah.
Right? Don't be laughing.
That's just the thing. It ain't out of style.
No.
Everybody got the links or whatever, what they call it. We. Everybody.
But I can't do it where it gets hot. My head gets itchy. That's another topic. But I've seen some really nice ones. They look good, especially if you do a lot of performing and you on shows and stuff. Yeah, the heat on your hair anyway. But the heat on your hair isn't great. But sew-ins, people still do sew-ins, you know. And sew-in, we're gonna say with hair, right? Because that means you as the salon,
you
providing the hair,
right?
Now
that sounds like $200.
No, that's definitely more than $200.
Oh, that's more than $200. Look, how we talking about somebody starting to make basic. I ain't talking about going over the
But you still in your basement down
spines.
But you got it. So here, this is where you build in the value because you make sure you have quality hair. So that's when you.
So now you talk. So
building out service,
right?
How you could upsell. So because you're in your home, depending on what that looks like, right? And so when you're starting in your home. You do also have to be realistic about your pricing model, right? You definitely want to shop your competitors. But where you can build in is the quality of hair, right? You can't be like, okay, I'm going to charge $1,000 and the hair is horrible. It sheds. It's not staying on the weft. The weft is super thick and you in your house. However, we're not going to go into that route because it's not business development. We're not consulting. But you can check us out if you're having an issue. But let's just say your average sew-in with hair is $700. Okay? No, and that's including, now I'm including all of this because I know sometimes people like, you got to come with your hair dry, blow dry. I don't subscribe to that.
You just show up.
You better be able to wash and blow dry and braid this.
So we talking about a luxury service, right? So quality. It's still I'm not debating. I got you.
I'm not debating that. $700.
Right.
Right. And so what does that look like? Right. When you go, all right, and how many can I do a day? Because you're talking about time.
Right.
So let's just say average, because you have a W-2 job and this is just side. How you start?
So
well,
it's nights and weekends.
Maybe I'm doing nights and weekends. So maybe I could do a $700 sew-in. If I do, let's just say 2 a week.
2 sew-ins a week.
2 sew-ins a week. So
it's $1,400 a week.
That's $1,400 a week times 4 weeks a month.
That's $5,600.
$5,600
extra.
Now
people don't even make that on their job.
That could change your situation if you're doing right by this.
For sure.
Right? Well, some people see that money coming in and they spending it right out because they don't have a budget and they don't have any discipline, right? So $5,600. Now, the thing is we got to subtract hair, right? So we have $5,600 a month. So we got to figure out our profit based on the cost to operate, our operating cost. Let's just say your mama not charging you nothing right now, okay? We just going over what you need to book. So let's say Schedulosity, or maybe you got a link tree on Instagram. Linktree is free, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, but let's say your Schedulosity, you have software that's costing you maybe $100 a month, plus your hair supplies, right? That may be the needle, the thread, the gel.
That's probably another $100.
The hair, because you buying
the hair.
You're buying the hair.
That's got to be $500.
For the client, and you're going to add a little something on top of that, right? Or you could give it to them at cost. It's up to you. So for the $700, let's say at cost, you making maybe I would have to consult someone with hair. But I'm going to say...
Let's say half of it.
I'm going to say, yeah, let's do half of that.
Yeah.
So 700 divided by 2.
It's 350. So every
win, you making 350.
Yeah.
Okay? That's your profit. You need to know that number, right? That's how you need to drill down. Like, okay, every time I do a sew-in, I'm making 350. So 350 now times 2.
700.
You right. Duh. Wait a minute. I need to subtract that. That's not. So my profit is 350. I'm sorry. You need to divide it so I can get my percentage. 350.
Are you trying to get the percentage of the
profit?
Right.
My percentage. So 350 divided by 700. That should my profit.
And that's 0.5. That's 50% profit.
Now that's
or 50% margin.
For 50% margin profit. That's a really good margin. That's really good.
Because I think for no matter where your business is, you shouldn't take your expenses over 50% of your income.
No, for sure. So then you could think and go, all right, I need to make sure that every time, whatever service, whatever I'm building in, I can get 350 out of each service or more, right? So let's say you could say, well, I'm going to add in a trim. I'm going to add in color. Now your profit margin increases.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's where your mindset wants to go. Like, okay, I want to make sure, because if you were a person that didn't price right, then that's where sometimes people suffer too in their pricing, because they're like, well, I'm going to just do it for $200 or $350. And your profit, your margin is lost in the sauce. Right. So now when you think about upgrading, so let's do this again. So I'm at 50% profit margin. That's really good. I'm at $5,600 a month minus my cost over here. So we said it was going to be $350. It's going to be $350, and this was just for services and operating costs. Is that what we?
It was just not operating costs, but just whatever it costs.
Like to buy the hair and stuff. Okay. So this is for hair. So let's say operating costs, we can add another $200 for the month. This is per client. The operating cost is per month. So let's say $200 op cost. Okay. So that's $500. It's probably going to be more, because if you have Stripe merchant services.
We talking about somebody at their house. They probably got the barber app or the
Schedulosity. All right, we'll keep it small. Right. We'll keep it small.
They don't.
All right. So they got $500 operating cost.
Might be cash app.
Minus the $5,600. Right. The leftover profit is
so
$51. Right.
Right.
So for the month, you profit $5,100 for the month. Okay. Now, what you want to do with the $5,100 is you want to roll it to me, all of it in to the next month, right? You're still living at home. We're not going to spend this in the club, or we're not going to go to Louis Vuitton because you made $5,100. You're going to take all of this and take it over into the next month and do what? Advertise, hair, savings account. This is where that budget comes from, even as a sole proprietor, because this budgeting helps you now go to the LLC. It helps you with that vision, the long-term goal to get a salon suite so you can have longevity, right? In the salon suite style. So if you do $5,100, you're like, oh my God, Mom, thank you. I'm going to save. I'm going to put all my money back into the pot. But I'm going to make sure I'm going to take what? Because you a sole proprietor, you got to think about what? Taxes. Right? So 10% of that needs to go where? Taxes. So that's $500.
Now this is
because you feel like in this stage that's too advanced.
Right. Because this is practical. This is what you.
But this is what you should know.
This is what you should be
doing. Because it's hard for people to transition.
But they gotta.
They don't have the.
But they gotta go through that to get there.
They gotta save money to get here.
Yeah, but they ain't gonna do that. The person who making money like this, you gotta think about it. I make $30,000 a year, maybe. I might be working at Amazon or something. They start doing sew-ins at their house. That's just 2 clients.
That's just 2.
At $1,400, even if they have their own house, that's extra money for them to play with, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
But that's not what you should do.
I'm not saying that's what you should do.
And we trying to educate them.
Right. So I'm going to talk to you. I know where you at. And you're going to talk to them about what they should do, because I know where y'all at.
And if this is where you are,
right.
Stop it right
You need to stop that. But that's what happens. You're going to be on Cash App, Zelle. You're not reporting that on taxes. A lot of times you don't even hear about. You'll never hear about the people with businesses like this.
Yes, you do.
Until that, I know, but look, until that man.
These are people
who
got
did
a
it.
side job
Right.
with 3 kids and
Right.
don't even report this.
They don't even report it.
Because they trying to get that tax refund.
That's what I'm saying.
We can talk.
Then now you need to talk. That's what I'm saying. That's what the people at.
Remember, that's not what you should.
That's not what you should be doing.
Because you know you eventually want to get your own house.
For sure.
You want to get your own suite.
For
you
sure.
want to get out of the poverty mindset by
sure.
You don't want to keep underreporting your income because you want a tax refund.
The thing I appreciate about that, these things, that's real. The thing I appreciate about this stage though is I feel this is your test. This is where you're gonna get who you are at its core, because you're gonna start making money, and what you do with it determines your character. Whether you go out and do whatever. What you say that's the stage that starts the whole thing.
That when you get here,
it's hard to break it.
You can't sustain and grow, and you end up back here.
And the other thing I appreciate about it,
people go, I need to make more money.
Yep.
But they never discipline from here to go, well, I'm staying at my mom's house making 30, 40 grand.
For sure.
Let me self-discipline and take this whole 5,100, roll it in to grow where that 51 can then be 10.
Yeah.
Now we talking.
But then that's the person that sticks in that long enough to understand the skill they have and the value they can bring. Because that's the person who's going to say, I made $1,400 with just 2 people in 1 week. Imagine if and that's the only question you got to ask yourself.
Gucci store, Louis Vuitton, all on sheet.
But that's for sure what I'm just saying what we see. We know what you should be doing, but I'm also putting a dose of reality in there on what I know I see people do. Right, because that's
real talk.
That's real talk.
But if you
trying to get serious about your business and lock in, this is stuff that you're gonna have to consider.
Now, what you
that's
can
the best place to do
to help you out is you can treat yourself.
Yeah.
You could carve out a percentage of pleasure. So you could say out of the 5,100,
about 1,000.
You could take 1,000. That's is how you formulate a budget.
Yeah.
You could say, all right, out the 5,100. Right, this is how you should divvy up the 51. Like before we get to the salon suite side, because this is where you're gonna grow. So $5,100, 1,000 could go to self. Okay, that leaves you with 41. Right.
And once you start doing that,
then you could go. All right, I'm gonna take another 1,000.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put it in my savings.
Yeah.
Because the savings can be for what your long-term goals. If you want to then go into a salon, you got to have some money, or you want to buy more hair. Not even more hair, because the more hair is going to go, that's a different bucket. So now you're down to 31, right? Mm-hmm. My math is still good. You got $3,100 left over. You gave yourself 1,000. Now you're not going to go on vacation with your girlfriends unless it's in that $1,000. You got to budget yourself. Okay. Right? Then you're going to take, you're going to take 10% of, to me, I should have took it from the top, for taxes. But we're going to do 10%, 500, right?
10% of what? 5,100, yeah. So we actually taking somebody, this is what you should be doing. Yeah.
All right, where I'm at now, minus 500.
Yeah, so where we at?
20.
Minus 2,000 minus...
About 31 minus 500.
26.
2,600 left over. Guess what you want to do with that? Now, you can take the whole 2,600, right? You want to then take care of what was your operating cost? Well, we already subtracted that. I think that's how we got 500 for the month. So you're going to take that $2,600 is going to be in your account, and you're going to take 40% of that, right, and get inventory. You want to double it up. You're going to make sure that you have hair to accommodate, maybe the reason why you only had 2 clients because you only had enough hair for 2 clients. But you want to take 40% of that. It's either like 30 to 40% for like inventory. So what you got? 26.
30%.
30% of 2,600.
$780.
$780 you want to spend on inventory. And then 780 minus 26, what's left over?
1820.
1820 is now cash flow that you want to keep in your account for the next month. That's how much you should have next month. When they start with banks, they say, what's the cash flow? That's what they're looking for. Okay, so this is the transition. We made it kind of easy and whole. There may be some other things in here, so don't go in and start nitpicking every little thing, but you understand what we're trying to show you is discipline and budgeting out.
Because this is the stage you really want to narrow this down, because there's no fluff. There's no gimmicks. There's no keeping up with this is nothing.
Because as you sit in this space, now let's do some projections. As you sit in this space for 12 months, you delaying gratification. Let's just keep the numbers here where it is. For 12 months in your savings, you're going to have how much?
That's $12,000.
$12,000. Let's look at our buckets here, because you had discipline while you were living at home with your mom. In 12 months, you're going to have $12K in savings. You're going to have 500 times 12. Now,
6,000.
6,000. Now that can increase depending on what you mean, but we just gonna keep it here. Now, yourself, right? Because you paid yourself $1,000, so you can't deduct it. But let's just say self. You gave
$12,000.
You gave yourself a $12,000 raise or money that you didn't have the year before. Mind you, still got your W-2 job, so that's cute, right? What else is our little buckets? The inventory, we're not going to worry about that. But at the end of the 12 months,
and 3 buckets right there,
you're able to now do something with $12,000 in savings. You're able to go in December, in the new year, maybe I am ready for my salon suite because I saved money
to get it.
And guess what I'm going to also do at the end of that year? Maybe I do now build my credit and now think about funding options, because I've proven to myself that I have discipline.
Yeah, you got to tell your money where you want it to go.
Absolutely. So now when you go into your salon suite, you got a little bit of change to decorate, to put down your first and last month. But you already know you got a consistent client base because you didn't work this out for a year. You were a year. Now you can say, all right, well, I'm going to get my LLC, my EIN number, and my bank account.
Yeah.
You can stay a sole prop in this stage.
Yeah.
Because you got to test the formula out. You got to do what? Run the play.
Run the play.
You got to see what's happening here. How you going to take hits.
You got to build a skill. Yeah.
You're building discipline. You building yourself up. You figuring out who you are in this
skills. Yeah.
Right?
You got to figure out if you really want this, right? Because now it's like, if you good, how can you double it? How can you scale it? Are you going to go after 1? Are you going to keep it at 2? You're going to go after 4, right?
Yep.
Are you going to quit your job at this stage, right? But once you start telling that's where you're going to figure all this stuff out. And it's best to get it done there than to wait till you try to do all the stuff over here that we about to show you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't have it.
All right. So we're going to now start it as the LLC.
You're going to be on the board.
You could be on the board, or we could sit there.
Let me glad. I don't teach it. No.
Oh, Lord. if you really want to watch it, check out the next episode as we take you from the basement to the salon suite to what's next. What happens now, right?
Building a business.
Building the business. So now we're going to transition that same sole proprietor as a LLC now in their salon suite and transition them to an S Corp. What that transition, what that discipline looks like.
Yeah.
350, 50% profit margin. So now we're going to take you from, we already showed you from the basement, right, as a sole proprietor, you know, that discipline, the budgeting, what that looks like. Now you're LLC and you are now in your salon suite, right? What that money kind of looks like and then what that budget should look like as you transition to an S Corp and what that structure and operation should look like, right? Forward thinking as you bring in other services, right? Because as an LLC in the salon suite, based on doing 700, your average price point was $700 for a sew-in with hair. Now you're at a salon suite. So here you can, if you want, increase your pricing. You could do add-on services. Maybe you start to add in some product. So let's say your average sale is now $1,000, right? Let's bump that up because maybe you're doing a hot oil treatment, or guess what? With every client, you give them a silk wrap. Well, you can build that into the price point, you know, to say every time you come with me, I trim your hair automatically. You're going to get a deep conditioning and you're going to add value to support because you're going to have an expense now. You're going to have you got a real operating expense. You're not in your mom's basement. So sometimes people keep their same pricing, and I do get that. But with this, you want to inform your client. Now they're going to appreciate and be able to have a more high-end, maybe luxury experience. And so clients in any industry, their clients know that they typically eat the cost for whatever. You want higher end, you want a better customer experience. It's built in the price, okay? It's convenient, right? I'm not in your home. I'm in a more professional setting. It's built in the price. So now let's look at those new numbers, right? So the average price point is going to go from $700 to $1,000, and that's average. We know that may not be every single client, but we're just going to take the average, okay? And the average is going to include upsells, premiums, additional services. Maybe you colored the hair.
So in this stage, we done quit the job, we done doubled down on our skill, and you picked the target.
Well, maybe you didn't quit your job.
Are you still working? Oh, this is like the one suite situation.
You in the salon suite. You still have maybe a full-time job.
But you still picked a group of people that you coming for because you're charging it as a premium.
Correct.
Price.
And so maybe, you know what? I'm whatever job I have, I'm going to still do nights and weekends.
I got you.
So maybe I do now one client a week, and on Saturdays, maybe I do 5. Right? You building it up, right? Also, too, you are still working. Maybe you work from home. I don't know the situation, but I don't think you should quit your job.
Oh.
Until we figure out some things. That's another budget. That may be another talk on how you think and transition to quit your job. Real talk. Because you got to be able to show more income, more profit, more cash flow to take care of you. Maybe we can go into that in this diagram. We'll see where the pen leads us.
I definitely don't agree, but
You think they should quit their job?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
If you start to make that type of money, if I get a suite, I'm going all in.
Okay.
If I get a suite, I'm going. But I do understand that there's a difference, but that's a gender thing, because most women like to be
more secure.
Before
I got to figure some stuff out.
Most men.
So there's we'll put a
30% of the. If I get an inch, I'm probably most men diving in there. So I get it.
But that's a real question that people need to think. How do I transition out? What does my money need to look like? And hopefully,
what's the effects?
But we hopefully you did that first
recommend it.
That first year of discipline, and you had that $12,000 nest egg. Well, the next year, the next couple of years, your nest egg is going to grow because you're going to maintain that same discipline, right? We're not going to upgrade our life. We didn't get a new car. We didn't get a new house. What we did with the money is reinvested back into the business.
Because you wanted to grow.
Because you wanted to grow. Understand how growth happens. When people talk about compound interest, you're doubling down on the thing that generates money for you, right? Okay, so average sale, $1,000, okay? Now, let's say you do one Monday through Friday. That's 5, right? That's going to give us $5,000.
Right.
And then let's say on Saturday, you do another 5.
Right.
Okay? That's another $5,000. Now you at what? $10,000
for 1 week. Now this is
okay.
Somebody really making money.
All right. 5,000. You had 10,000 for the week. However, you do have different expenses. So we're going to look at what that looks like. Okay. So also, we want to keep the same 350 profit margin, right?
30%.
You may change. It was 50. You may change it up because if you have to dye the hair, you got to buy dye. You know, this is going to probably go up. You probably won't get 50 out of that, to be realistic. But I would.
Well, you want to keep your expenses.
You want to still keep your
low.
Correct. You still want to think about what is it costing you to make that $1,000, right? So, we want to think about the quality of hair you're providing, the dye, the towels. So, you got to think about other things that are happening, right? You're not in your home. So let's look at your options.
You're building a brand as you're
building a brand. So your expenses are going to be a little bit more. So now you should have a website.
Yeah.
Right.
It should be easier to book you. Find you.
Right. They're easier to pay. You will have a merchant service.
Everything about you is to breathe that you do here.
Everything has elevated, right? You have social medias now.
Yeah.
Right. You also have you got your towels. You have your wrap. Maybe you get it customized where you get your logo, on your stuff. What are those things called? The apron.
Yeah.
What they call apron? I don't know what they call the wrap.
I know.
Okay.
They know.
I'm gonna call them wraps. Y'all know what the whatever.
Right.
Right. What else do we have? Of course, your hair products.
You got a suite, so that's the suite rent.
Your hair products. That's gels and sprays and the little saran things to go around the neck and the bobby pins and all the who's and what's it's, right? All the things that you need. And of course, you have your rent. Now, sometimes most utilities should be included in the salon suite.
Yeah, because it's a shared space.
Yeah, most of the times the utilities are included. Anything else with
whatever your rent is, it covers the whole building.
But you had to get your LLC. That probably cost you $100, right? Maybe legal. We talking about
that's the annual cost.
Yeah, some legal fees, right? Anything?
You definitely did taxes at this point.
You definitely did. So you can add your taxes on the annual fee.
It's an LLC. That's at least $600 or so.
Oh, all right. That's still on the Schedule C now. You charging $600
or $5, maybe $5. That's definitely $549 starting off. Okay.
Okay.
You charging premium. We charging premium.
That's right. Because you're going to get all this heat with it.
Get all this. Yeah.
Okay. And so now you might also have bookkeeping software. Maybe you got QuickBooks. Maybe you have.
You should.
For sure. You got some bookkeeping software in here.
You can do it yourself. You can go to Xero, QuickBooks, FreshBooks. Doesn't matter. It won't cost you more than $50 a month.
I'm going to just say bookkeeping because QuickBooks ain't giving me no check. So I'm going to just bookkeeping.
That could be Excel.
Yeah, you could definitely do Excel.
Tracking it.
Your Excel sheet needs to just look like this. Yeah. You need to write out everything that's costing you so we can adequately figure out what that is to subtract it from that. Okay? So
just want to stay at 5,000 or below with this.
And I don't know. Sometimes in the salon suite, though, because you have to build it out. You're going to have chairs. They don't give you. It just depends. Do they give you a chair and a shampoo bowl?
No, there's some of the suites they do.
You got to do some of your build out. So out of that 12,000,
It depends on where you at.
yeah,
Some people do like a little office suite, and they fix themselves up. Or you might go into a shared hair salon place where the whole thing is built for. You know what I'm saying?
that's
So it just
true
depends
too. Like
on
they
where you
share
at.
the bowl,
Right.
the
It just
wash,
depends
the
on where
seat.
you at.
That's very true.
So you want to just factor it in. Like, do
That's
you want to
true.
go to I got a client who they're just in a shared like office building space, and
But
she
it's
built
for
out
salon owners.
right.
So
But
they
this
have,
is not just for salon owners. It's just a shared office. She turned it into what it is. But they do have those that are specific to
Yeah,
hairstyles. So it depends on where you want to go.
for sure. Because I've been in them where they have sinks inside of the suite, and then they share this back. It's like 7 sinks in the back, and you kind of trade out for your clients. So for sure. So that means kind of the rent varies. You may have utilities, you may not. It just depends. So for rent, I'm going to say $1,000.
With that option, you want to, right, because this is 2023. You definitely just want to shop about where you feel comfortable.
So that's only $850 a month.
Yeah.
So then we add in everything else. I'm thinking $1,200, $1,500.
Like all total?
Right. Like I'm thinking about website, merchant service, social media, your towels, all your hair products. Oh, the hair. That's going to cost you the money.
Right.
Because the hair, that's expensive.
And remember, your analogy was they making $10,000 a week.
The hair is going to cost you the most. Especially as you start making money, you start buying the hair in bulk.
Right. But we ain't trying to figure out everybody's costs. We just
For
want to make sure that you keep your expenses in a certain.
This going to cost you. I'm going to put $2,000 right here just for hair. That you're going to buy it. So if we do $2,000 and we make this, let's say we make this another $1,500. So that's $3,500.
Right.
$3,500. And let's say you also now have an assistant. Somebody's going to come and keep you going on Saturdays. You pay an assistant to wash and prep your clients. Right? Because nobody wants to sit there and wait. And maybe you pay her per head. Sometimes they do it per head or for the day. It's five people on Saturday. So maybe you give her $300 each head. Is that, I don't know what that looks like.
No, you know why I like this? Because I know most people are not doing this. But what I like about this is because we went, like, it's a mindset thing.
But you can see where there's money there where you can.
That's what I'm saying. We went right for the top. Like we went, first of all, we're targeting a quality type of person. We're doing a premium person.
Because everybody wants to charge more money, but sometimes their service,
it's not the part.
What they're doing doesn't substitute it, right? So
you want filet mignon with McDonald's service.
So you need to have an assistant. I need to be in a salon. I don't want to be waiting 4 hours.
Yeah. Well,
you got
have a booked appointment.
So let's say the assistant, you pay her $300 for each head.
Yeah.
So 3 times, and that's only on Saturday, because on Monday to Friday you only have one.
Right. In this scenario.
So 300 times 5.
That's 1,500.
1,500. All right. So we got 1,500. 1,500.
Remember, our money is still built off.
And $2,000. What is that now? These are operating expenses.
1,500.
I didn't add like cell phone and all that stuff.
Oh, that's
3, 5.
5.
So we add 5.
Yeah, that's 50%.
So our expenses, our operating expenses, is at $5,000 a month. Now,
well, I don't know, because your scenario is by the week. They're making money by the week.
This is $10,000 a week.
Right, because you said they do Monday through Friday.
Oh, okay.
And Saturday is.
Oh, wait, then we got to change it up then.
But that's still the same expenses. You just got to figure out.
Times by.
Right.
So it's 5 times 4 for a week. So it's $5,000 a week.
Minus the rent, because rent you're probably paying monthly.
And this is monthly. The towels and the wraps, though, that's not going to be a monthly expense. I mean, you will have to wash. You will have to.
Upkeep.
No, it's definitely upkeep.
Be buying this.
For sure. So let's take out. This is okay. So the only thing is, the only thing we got to multiply is this then, because this is kind of on the month. Because I did hair $2,000 a month. Assistant is the week, 1,500 times 4.
It's 6,000.
So $6,000 a month for the assistant. Add in, so then this is a week times 4 is 40 grand.
Yeah.
And then 6 and 5 is 11
Yeah.
minus the 40K.
It's 29.
29K potential profit.
Right.
That you're making at the end of the month.
See, that's why I say this person, they quit their job. Ain't no way you're doing that and still working. You can't be saying that.
Now, after your first quarter, you could put your 2 weeks in. You could be like, I'm done.
That person quit their job before. I'm out.
But I mean, when you think,
And that's a light week. That's 5 clients.
and that's
a week.
still maintaining your full-time job.
Right.
Now, you also have money in here if you need someone to help you with your children. Now, I didn't take account in your household bills or anything in
We're
it.
talking straight business.
We're doing expenses because you need to. We didn't take out for the taxes.
We didn't take out their salary.
We didn't take out their salary. This is just your profit. Now you start budgeting out your profit, okay? And what the 29K a month is looking like, potential, right? And so I still don't think that first month you make $30,000. I still don't think you quit your job. I say you start to transition and think about it after the first quarter, which is 90 days. If you can sustain this for a quarter to say, oh my God, this is really a thing. I'm in my salon suite, January, February, March. After that first quarter of making this type of money and you realize that this is a thing, then I would say, you know what, I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice. I'm going to really go full time. Now you can scale this to 29 a month because you're doing more heads a day. I mean, that's how I would go. But I know some people just don't have that discipline at all. But we need to, because you really don't know if this is a really sustaining thing. You have one good month. What about the next month?
They gonna figure it out.
It don't happen.
That's what people be at though. Ain't nobody doing that.
Okay.
Ain't nobody doing that.
Okay.
And
I know they're not, but
anybody who has anybody who is doing that have an afforded luxury to do that. Meaning you might not be the sole provider. You probably got some help. Or you might.
But you have enough discretionary income to pay for help to keep your full-time job.
For sure. That's what I'm saying.
You're only doing 1 sew in a week. Your Saturday, you're doing 5 with assistant. And Sunday, you don't have off.
We talking numbers now. So I'm just take the emotion out of it.
I got you.
We talking numbers. So somebody made $29,000 a month.
That's 1 month. Yep.
In 1 month.
That's right.
Best believe whoever has done that.
But we took the average.
That's what I'm saying.
Every client is not going to spend $1,000.
Right, but that's on average. To me, that's the floor. At the ground level, I can potentially make
floor, that $1,000 is the average, meaning that some is going to pay you $500.
Right.
And some, depending on the situation, may, to say on average of the month, how many clients is that?
Right, but average, you only thing you're telling me here is, on average, I just need 1 client a day to pay me $1,000, which I feel is possible.
Absolutely, especially if you're in Metro Atlanta.
Right, that's possible, right? And we're going for premium service, premium, all this stuff is we get to choose who we want to work with. We're premium. On Saturday, I get 5 people to pay me, that's possible. So anything in between that, if they paying me $500, $300 for this and that, I'm making more money. So my floor is still at $30,000. Somebody's making that in a year. You mean to tell me they ain't quit their job already? I would have quit my job before I got to the 3rd client. Oh, this is out.
For example, but no, I get it though. But we have to delay gratification to a point and have an exit strategy, right? Because we look at, I forgot that young man's name, but he plays professional football and he does not spend his salary. He plays basketball. Jason Tatum. Discipline. Yeah. He spends none of his NBA money. He only spends his endorsement.
What's he doing with the NBA money though?
Saving it.
For what?
When he retires, investing, doing something. But his personal NBA salary, which is, I don't know if you want to Google it and see, does not go towards his personal habits at all. And then look up his endorsement money. He only spends his endorsement. It's bananas. But that's the self-discipline. You think that man don't want to go out and be like, I'm a wild and buy a jet? I don't know, act the fool. His mom is his manager.
Right, but see, that goes down.
And that's having discipline early. So you think we can't try to instill that in our entrepreneurs?
No, I think it should.
Hey, even though you brought in $29,000 doesn't mean you go lose your mind and quit your job and have no plan and no fortitude. You got
I'm definitely about the principle.
Now,
and I'm not saying you're making $29,000 and you're blowing it. But what I am saying is I remember
that you see the opportunity and
you see the opportunity. That's what I see. That's what I see.
And now,
like if I make $29,000 a month, I'm quitting because the more I do this, I can make more money. It ain't even about me spending the money.
For sure.
Right now, we're in the game.
I think about 9 to 5 millionaire. He stayed a police officer for years that was making thousands of dollars in real estate.
And then what he said, all these people was like, I started to notice. He started making money.
But he stayed in. I forgot what his story is, but he stayed in years.
He did. He would teach people tell people what he was doing.
So it's possible.
Everything is possible.
And he said, well, you know what? I'm going to use this pension, this good regular money to fund the dream, to fund this.
Yeah.
And the person that's working the W-2, if they're really smart and strategic, could go, all right, now maybe my next play, I could, double down and transition better and faster. So instead of the sweet, guess what I'm going to do?
You want to buy the bill. It's definitely possible. I mean, we talking military people. I'm not saying that you won't do it. I know for me and my character, if I see $29K, I'm quitting whatever, because there's got to be some, I don't know. I just see the opportunity, so I'm doubling down. That's on.
It's me with the lack of availability, to me, helps you think more. I will want you to think more boss-like. To say, because I do have a full-time job, I now need to invest in, maybe my assistant becomes my operations manager.
Yeah.
Maybe she becomes something more to help book our appointments, to keep us straight.
Yeah.
Now she can transition when I buy my building, my salon manager.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not available. Because that's, to me, sometimes happens as a solopreneur.
Yeah.
You're doubling down, doing everything. And now it's harder to transition that to a boss, to a true CEO, because now all you know is doing hair.
And to me, the only real way that you can do that is again through the numbers, because it's a certain point, and I don't know what it is, because for everybody it's different, but it's a certain income amount that you can make, and you're like, I'm comfortable, and you have to figure out what that is.
And to me, the $10K a month is it, but you've exceeded that 6 figures.
Sure.
$10K a month is like the goal in your head. If my business can generate me $10K a month, then now I can focus. I done figure out the profit sales game. I got that. Because it's enough people that's paying me for a service. I'm at $10K a month. Now I can do systems and scale.
And when you do that, you're not at the same time upgrading your. Because once you hit a number,
what happens is, we don't think about the next thing. We start to blow this and buy a bigger house. Yeah. We start buying luxury cars. Yeah. And now
COVID is coming, but you don't see it yet.
You can't see COVID because all you saw was
a 29.
And balls to the wall.
So I'm definitely not I ain't saying go out there and just be loose. But there's opportunity in making, if you can make somebody's salary in a month, which is possible because people do it. There's people out here doing all kinds. First of all, there's 1,700 millionaires being made a day on average. So it's possible to do anything. But for me, if I'm seeing $29K, there's an opportunity
because
I'm
what
trying
happens
to double down. But my mindset is different than somebody.
But there's things that need to happen to me. So as we transition this person, this whole year, there are things in place that as this person is making this money,
Right.
you're going to stay in this 6 months to a year that you are doing.
For sure.
To
You're going to want to not do it.
that you want to transition to the S corp,
Right.
because you're going to need a CFO. You're going to need, a tax planner.
And most times,
Maybe
the taxes is how
the tax is going to be a lot.
Because on that, what is that? That's profit 29K. Let's just say there's no other factors in there. So that's
And you got their W-2 job, but 29K, what?
just our
20%,
business off
20%.
times 12. That's 348,000 a year,
About $348 a year.
and that's just off the profit. So we included all the expenses. So profit you made.
This is gonna be like 20. You might put that 30%.
Yeah, I'm damn near about to do half. But let's just say,
Bobby, you got the standard deduction. You
let's just do 37%.
37. There you go. All right. 30.
That's 128,000 in taxes alone.
Yeah. But
And that's income taxes. I ain't even touch on.
maybe they may ain't got no state. They in
But I ain't even touch on self-employment taxes. We still LLC.
for sure.
So 348.
Oh, so you might as well just round it up to 50%.
That's what I said.
Then I take that on up to 350. I mean to 50%.
Times 50.3. That's 53.
Another 53,000
No, right on just 15 point on the 15. Yeah.
plus the 128. You at
You at
70, 80, 180, something.
181.
Mm-hmm.
That's damn near half.
Yeah. However, because you were disciplined from the prior year, you took out your 10 to 15% a month.
For sure.
So you're going to have that because you were ready.
Right, but then this is the stage where you really want to double down on taxes, because if I ain't got to pay it, I ain't trying to pay
No,
it.
for sure.
But you still want to be ready to pay it.
Okay, so here we go. Let's look at the year.
Right.
12 months.
Right.
What needs to happen the first 90 days
Right.
for the person that's making 29K.
Right.
The first month they hit 29K, they're going to put that money away to the side. They're going to say, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did this. But because I was disciplined the prior year, I know I'm going to take my 10%. What's our little buckets? Here we go.
You doing it by month?
We're doing it by month. Taxes was 10%. We paid ourselves. We still paying ourselves $1,000 because I still got a W-2 job.
Right.
Now you could up it to 20% at this situation.
Right, because I'm like, ain't gonna be enough.
It's definitely not. However, but we
you
don't
got
have all the expenses though,
Oh, that's true.
because we don't have the standard deduction. We don't really have anything. Maybe they got a car they could depreciate. They got a
Right, but we're not doing it. We just gonna go
Right.
off. You saving money off the
yeah, for sure.
off
for
the
sure.
off the
So
off
we
the
let's
clip.
do 15%.
So you start making a little more. You probably want to increase your.
So 15% times the 29K, you need to put that.
4,300.
So you putting away $4,300 a month, right? And then yourself, maybe you gave yourself a raise. We said 1,000 before. We can do 2,000.
Well, you still got the people with a job, so
That's right.
so
That's right. What the
if you got a job, that should.
Bezos paid himself $20,000
Oh, when he first started,
when he first started. So let's keep it cute.
it's at 80.
Discipline, because this type of discipline could turn into a Paul Mitchell.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You could turn into an altar
yeah.
because you doubled down and delayed gratification and said, dang, I made this type of money that you could buy a commercial complex. Now you could really change your life and the people behind you because you delayed gratification and you didn't take that first month and go buy $1 million house, a G-Wagon, and all the Gucci and flew private around the world and said you was a celebrity hairstylist, and then a year later you broke as a joke.
That's what happened when you come to Atlanta, boy. And Atlanta make you think like, man, you behind on everything. You gotta hit 6 figures, fly to Miami, get on the private jet.
They get flew out. They
all the stuff. Like we trying to build real businesses.
You could be cute now, but you gotta think What's the vision? What's the long-term goal? You got time.
Because everybody say, what? I want to leave something to my family, but they don't think about that as they build up.
Because here you can do what? Insurance.
Yeah.
You can set up an UPMA account for your kids.
All that stuff.
You got the money. Yeah. Because you prioritize where the money was going.
And we went for a premium. We charge a premium price to a premium group of people and double down on the service.
So you definitely don't want to do more than 30% a month, was we still thinking about. But we're going to do self at, here, we're still self-employed. So we ain't do payroll yet. So we could still just take out an owner's draw of $2,500.
A month.
Yep. So $2,500 personal.
Yeah.
This is a month. Right?
Yeah.
Because this was in Texas.
Yeah.
25. This is a month. Okay. Oh wait, I need to put it over here. Then what else? Dag, what was? Oh, well, these were our operating costs. We already figured it out. Oh, savings.
10%.
Savings was 10%.
You probably should call it an investment.
It could be short term, long term.
I was thinking, as a business owner, you want to,
Sure.
You saving, but you looking for an opportunity. That's what business owners should be doing. Put 10% into your
10% of the 29.
Yeah. And if you're at this stage, you definitely should be
consulting.
You should be doing heavy on the personal development. So 29 on the investment, and I think this would be another 10% for personal development.
No, for sure. Mm-hmm. So coaching, you want to think about.
You want to get you a coach, mentor, all that stuff.
Yep. Because you got some discretionary income to figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
Right. And so 10% is another $2,900.
And for some, this might seem like it's just not attainable, but guys, it is. It's definitely possible.
And no matter what.
Like, if you're not here, get here. If you are here, we're going to take you from here to show you what.
Even if your numbers are not quite this high, the model and the overall forward movement is the same on how you need to discipline.
I would be going after this model. I wouldn't even, because why? You get to choose. You're already in, the mindset is throughout this whole thing.
No, for sure.
You're already in the thick of whatever you're in. Wherever you're at, you already, the notices is coming, the kids is there. You're already there.
And you can also replace this $1,000 instead of doing somebody's hair, could be a course. $1,000 for a service.
Anything. Right?
So you can also pull out something and plug in something else, right? So we can keep moving. So we're adding up 4,300 plus 2,500 plus 2,900 plus 2,900.
Yeah, 12,600.
12,600 minus from this
29. 16,400.
So we got 16,000 left. Right. And so what do we do with this? Right. We got to think, we have to, of course, buy more hair. We have to, think about, what happens with this. Right. You could go, all right, with 16,000, do I want to take more money out for my children? Do I want to, now think about,
need to be put back in the, right.
That you want to, of course, put back in the business, because at the 16,000 mark, you also want to have a larger cash flow because your exposure is greater. You have more to lose at this point. So you always want to make sure you have what people talk about 6 months rent, because COVID happened. So now you maybe want to dip and put more into your emergency fund, right? But you don't take the 16,000 and go balls to the wall, because you still have your job and you pay, and you gave yourself a little bonus, $2,500 a month. You may not think it's a lot, but think about where you started. Just keep that same mindset. Don't, get so hot and bothered by the money that you just go, I'm going to go buy me a Rolex, I'm going to buy me all these things. And you don't have no money, you don't have no contingency, and you can't grow and pour it double down into your business. Okay, so we're going to keep our numbers together. We're going to just minus, what was it, 30% for inventory. We could subtract that. What's 30% from the 6?
Is it already in there?
No, this is what we spent on hair a month, but we want to budget out the 16,000. Well, we could leave it as such. We spend $2K a month.
Because what's happening here,
Hair, because you could just make it you're rolling into cash flow.
for sure, you're making money at this point, and so you have to start thinking how rich people think. Poor people buy things and use money to buy liabilities, toys, right? Rich people start to use their money and they start to think about assets. With 16,000,
It's your 90.
yeah,
Your 90-day, that first quarter projection, because now you want to do stuff on quarters, right? You want to meet with your financial people.
Yep.
You want to look at your tax burden and go, this is what my 90 days look like. And then we're going to cut it from there. So 16,000 basically times 3.
times 3.
That's your 90-day projection. And you already put your tax away.
49,200.
So 49,200 in potential profit. Now 4,300 times 3
is 2,900 or 12,000.
12,900 that you have squirreled away for taxes in the first quarter, right? For investments, your personal funds, how much you made, 2,500 times 3.
7,500.
And then 10% for like savings and investments. So 2,900 times 3.
It's 8,700.
8,700. That was for, what did I say? Savings or investments. And then another 87 was personal development. I just do PD, right? I can kind of get what I mean. Okay. So when you look at that, this is the first quarter, January, February, March, and you take a snapshot. This is what banks want to see, your cash flow, your profit and loss. It's going to be more detailed, but this is kind of the projection that people want to see. So you profit $4,900 in the first quarter. Now you look really desirable for any investment, anything you want to think about making big boss moves. This is what they want to see. Now, out of the personal stuff, you just know you got to stick to your budget. If there's a program, $8,700 for coaching, courses, investments, maybe you want to learn how to do the new links, the new color, you're going to different conferences. It's coming out of this, right? Hair shows. Maybe you want to set up a booth. Maybe you savings is your investments. Maybe you want to now think about product development. Do I want to have my own product line? You have options to figure out what that next phase is for you. You can start to dream because you have money for people to work and deal with you. You can now work with the best of the best.
Yes.
You got investments for inventory, real estate, and product development that is very attainable with some key changes in your armor, straightening out those kinks and being self-disciplined. Because after this, you can now say, I am ready to put in my 2 weeks. You could now say, all right, I was able to save $12,000 in taxes. You basically called your bluff. You were everything you said you were, and you proved it, right? And so you can now go, Dad, I'm so proud of myself. I could do that. I could be the life changer in my family, right? And so I think, if you're not in this projection, you need to figure out how you can get here fast.
Like this is the model, and then we'll take you to.
And even the budgeting, how you itemize it out, and it's really delaying gratification. But you gave yourself, you think it's $7,500. That's not enough for you to reward yourself. And if you need more than that, then you need to reanalyze and go, no, I'm not ready. You can still travel. You can still take a trip. maybe you don't fly private. What's his face? I forgot his name. He's LeBron James' manager. Rich Paul said on InvestFest, I can't afford to fly private every time. He said, no, I'm riding Delta. Thank you. Why am I... Are you crazy? Maybe once or twice to get the experience, but that don't need to be your new lifestyle. That's crazy.
Not at this level.
Crazy. Rich Paul makes, if anybody can do it, he can definitely do it. And he's like, no, I'm not doing it. Yeah. Nope, I'm going to put my money where it's going to grow and do something else. But this is where you want to see yourself, LLC. So this is the quarter where you go, I need to talk to some financials. Maybe I need to now transition to an S Corp. I need to get my CFO. I need to get my operations manager. You know, I need to think about what my next step is. Now you sign maybe a 6-month, 12-month lease. But could you now be putting in money or investments maybe after the second quarter, thinking about a building? Thinking that you can dream and you got real options. That's basically what this presenting yourself. That the generational goal is more attainable.
And there's people, I had a client who had these type of numbers.
We are done with our board. This is where we are now, guys. I hope that you were able to flow with us and vibe with us as we took you from the basement to the salon suite, and then maybe we're going to take you to the boardroom, right? Yeah. Right?
That's where we take you.
We're going to take you to the boardroom.
Take you out your mama house.
Yes. You
to your own suite, LLC. On the next one, we're going to show you to take you right into the boardroom. So S Corp and C Corps, and we're going to talk about what that looks like.
Yep. All right.
So you took them from the basement, somebody's home, your house, your mama house, all the way to the salon suite, LLC. We had a premium offer. We're going after premium people. We started right at the cream of the crop, right? We didn't start small and go up.
Yeah.
All the way up into their LLC making 6 figures. This is somebody making $300,000 a year.
Yep.
So, and this is really ideal. It's not like it's far-fetched. We see it. We deal with it on an everyday basis, from doing business consultations and taxes.
Yeah.
So we've seen it, right? And so what we're going to end up doing is, there's a lot of information that was good. What we're going to do is on the next episode, part 2, we're going to take you from the S Corp all the way to C Corp. So we're going to take you from the salon suite to the boardroom, and show you what that looks like to scale on that level.
And in the S Corp world, you know, it's just a couple of things that you can do as we finish this year out for the salon business owner. We want to show you a couple of things that she or he is going to do to ready themselves even to be an S Corp.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can stay in this phase as an LLC, right? You don't necessarily have to grow and progress and transition into something else. Now you should, because of, you know, taxes. However, if you're not ready or you're not there, you can pay a higher tax premium and offset it in real estate or something else. But we'll save that for another episode. However, what we really wanted you guys to get and understand is, because we've seen this model, we also see where a pause and a stop and education should have been inserted, where business owners could be a lot farther along, because now we are seeing a drawback in sales and business and a lack of cash flow because there wasn't a forward thinking of building and putting it back into the business. It was being so excited about the growth in the 6 figures that we didn't think about the taxes. We didn't think about
just the discipline,
the investments, the savings, and the discipline of having money. And the real thing that you have to deal with is your emotional connection to how money makes you feel, because that will help you delay all of the things that you think you should have when you start making this type of money, instead of putting the money where you really should put it in investments and then back into the business so you could really make boss moves in a short period of time, right?
He is a tool.
Yeah.
So we got to use the tool.
Yeah.
So with that, we're going to wrap up. You know, it was another episode of Minding Your Biz.
Mind your business.
And we minding businesses over here, right?
That's right.
We teaching. We
mind up a business that pays you.
Yes.
Yes. Get it together.
So that's That's another episode. We'll see you guys next week.
We out of here.
Hold on now, before we get out of here completely, right? So we know we dumped a lot of information on you. We talked about mindset throughout this whole thing, taking you from the basement all the way up to the LLC, making multiple six figures. So if you guys have questions, please put them in the comments below. Click the links down for our socials. You can reach Farrah or I'm at Dr. Blackwell. Farrah is at
Mrs. Fab Financial.
So you can reach out to us for any questions or comments you have in relation to this. Make sure if you like this episode, guys, like it, comment, share with your other people, right? Make sure that you don't keep this information to yourself, right? Give it to somebody. That's the best thing that we can do is give the gift, right? That's why we started this platform.
Yes.
And that's what we want to build our community around is givers, right? So make sure that you share this episode with everybody, like, subscribe to our channel, and we'll continue to give you more. With that, we out.
And seen so that we can help guide you into the right direction, right? And so that you can learn from what's happening right now as we go through these cases, and just to have some perspective on what the next steps are, right? When you're in your business. And maybe ask yourself some tough questions, right? Like maybe I shouldn't be a business owner, right? Maybe this is not the thing for me. Oh, or maybe I was doing that different, right? Maybe I need to adjust some things, right? And so,
or maybe you're thinking about getting started, and we're trying to show you the fast path to success right here.
And when people talk about fast path, I really want you to understand that doesn't mean error-free. When we say fast path, that does not mean you will not fall, you will not have